everyone. Welcome to the Fit Coach Academy. Okay, what I'm going to do today is I've got to review to see what the last lesson was that you did with Brittany. So I am going to share my screen and review a lesson before I go to my lesson. So I've got to make sure something was gone over. All right, so did you all go over, this would have been Tuesday, last Tuesday, that would have been lesson 4-7. And did you hear about Fit Coach Kits? And did she say the part about you're going to have your personal private Zoom call with me? Was that discussed? Tell me. Somebody, open your mouth.
Briefly.
Yeah,
Okay.
he had mentioned it, but I think that we were a little thrown off because we had our bye week. So she wasn't sure when you were going to do it.
Okay.
So
Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to review that before I go over to my lesson. So I had a feeling about that, especially going into the workout, so you get an understanding of what this lesson is all about right here. So fitness advice on the most asked questions from clients, all ages, all the same human concerns. Practical advice is only based upon what you do, have experienced. Let me go into presentation mode here. Present that so I can make it bigger. Okay. Rearrange some stuff here. Okay, and proper coaching techniques, how the body breaks down from inactivity and aging, natural supplements for more energy. So this is the main gist of what this lesson was, and I want to review this in a little bit more detail. It's a really important lesson here that needs to be understood. This page is Fit Coach Kits. This is just what we have on the website that we've been working on for ever to actually get these jackets right. Also, if you compete and you end up getting one of the team jackets, we'll actually put your award, if you're a state record holder or national record holder, down the arm if you're in the power fit team or bikini team or whatever. So that's what goes on that. For the fit coaches, we finally determined the right color. So we got the color shirts in this really pretty blue and turquoise blue, and everything else has been decided upon and made. So we're just finishing those up. So that's what those things are. You definitely want to be in something to amp up. If you're doing any kind of group sessions, you want to have some kind of amp up shirt on or your amp up uniform jacket if you're doing VIPs, live or on Zoom. So it's important that you just constantly have that authority uniform on when you're actually doing your workout. As soon as you get your uniform, if you paid us for it already, and we've been making it, so it will be coming to you over the next 7 days. I think I might be able to get it done in 7 days. I might need 2 weeks. So what's going to happen is, and no one ever does it in 30 minutes. I say 30 minutes, but we always talk for 40 or 45 minutes. I will be sending a text to each one of you so we can set up a time to do Zoom together alone. And I'll be typing up more of a narrative that we're putting together. I know the last lesson that I taught was talking about how your story has to be a story of struggle. And I'm going to keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it until it completely falls into your brain cells and you actually accept it in. The worst possible thing you could ever do is come from a position that your life is so great, everything's so fucking easy for you and nothing's hard and you've never had a weight problem, you've never struggled in anything. No one's going to relate to that and nobody's going to want to, and they're not going to see you as an authority. The fastest route to you being an authority is when you tell people your story of struggle. And so that struggle story and how you overcame it is instant authority. And so I will be gathering information from you. We have fit coaches that have severe MS, and you wouldn't even know it. Control it with diet and with exercise. We have so many different things that people are going through that are coaches, and they have fixed it with fitness and with exercise. They've lost 100 pounds, 150 pounds. They're starting to compete now. Some of them were victims of sexual abuse, and they had to conquer all that. Some of them had extreme levels of PTSD. They had to get over that in order to conquer their demons and so forth. So there's a story that goes behind you, and we want the struggle part. When we were on Inc. 500 and we made the centerfold, and Todd was featured on a big feature, when they called us to do an interview for Inc. magazine, and they were asking questions, the writer that was writing for Inc. 500, who also wrote for Time magazine and for the Washington Post, he said, okay, I hear about all your winning. I need to know the problems. So he just was like, I don't give a fuck about all the wins that you're talking about, how you got on Inc. 500, everything. He said, I want to hear the whole struggle of the past 3 years. And then Todd's like, well, if you want to know that, we're going to be on the phone way longer than 15 minutes. And then the writer's like, I don't care if we're staying on the phone till tomorrow. I need this story. And so that's why he made the centerfold. It was a really, really good story of overcoming. And our first year, we only had $100,000. And then we went all the way to 11 million by the third year, and the way that we did it and so forth. And they were like, holy shit. And so everything we had to overcome and all the stuff we had to create and invent out of just thin air. So that led to, it was a really big deal. So that's what we're doing with all the 7 teams that we've created. We want to make sure that all the coaches, which I told you, you guys are the top of the pyramid here, the fit coach is the top of the pyramid on authority. And so we are working so hard to make sure we're laying the groundwork that makes the way that we present you to the world, where it keeps a very high authoritative position for you. And you have to remember that when you go to tell your story, you're always bringing back up, well, yeah, I lost 100 pounds. But when I was 100 pounds overweight, I just told a girl today, I'm like, yeah, when I had visceral fat, it was more than you. I couldn't even bend over to shave my legs. It felt like it was taking my breath away. I had so much fat on my trunk. And then she was standing there with a lot of fat on her trunk. She's seeing mine's way down compared to hers. She's just like, okay, what do you want me to do? And so that's just instant authority. So always remember, if you're just small and they see you, they're going to be like, oh, you've been a skinny bitch your whole life. Everyone always wants to take your work away. Don't fucking let them. I'm going to say that again. Everyone wants to take your work away. Do not let them take your work away. I hate when people say, oh, you're just so skinny. You've always been skinny. Or everything comes easy to you, blah, blah, blah. It's just a pity party. They're having them for themselves. And then that pity allows them to treat themselves like shit. No self-love, not deal with their emotions, not get over their emotions of pity and move on. And so I don't permit it. I don't tolerate it. And so when I give my story of overcoming, they can't do anything about it. So that's what we will be talking about. So I'm giving you that preview so you've got something to think about. I also like you to gather some pictures, and you'll load those into a folder that we put on Google Drive for you. And just pictures that when we put your story together, if you all have probably watched before those goal cast videos, like they'll just be flashing like pictures through, and then they'll have like a caption, like The Rock, for example. He was down to only $7 in his pocket. Flash, flash. His mother was losing her mind and jumped out of a car on the freeway, and he had to stop the car in the middle of the freeway to go grab her. She was manic depressive or something, and then it flash. And so that's the type of video where we like those goal casts, very inspirational videos, and that's going to be how we're going to keep the fit coaches in a very authoritative place. So that's what we'll be talking about. I'll be digging, finding out info, typing it up about you so I can create this narrative. And then Todd and his creative team will take that stuff, put it together with all the images. If you have any video footage or just straight images, we'll put all that together. So I've heard some of Dana's story already. I know a lot of Kelly's story, Rhonda's. I know a lot of your stories. So just putting all that info together, problems with eating disorders. I had one of those. I had several of those. Just all that kind of stuff. People are just like, what? You had that. You had that. All of that stuff makes them go, oh my God, my trainer is so inspiring. And the last thing that you think that when you're an authority figure or a trainer or an athlete, you think you're always supposed to paint a picture that, you're supposed to paint this picture that I'm in fitness. I'm supposed to act like I know fitness and I'm so motivated all the time and shit's not hard for me. And I don't get temptations. It's all a crock of shit. If you try to push that out, first of all, they're going to sniff out you're full of shit. Secondly, like I said, you're going to push them away, not inspire them, because they are not that. They have all kinds of struggles. So if they hear of your struggles, it's going to inspire them to listen and to follow you easier and to spread word of mouth about you to their friends and family to come and get help from you. I was saying in the Fit Coach meeting just before this, which you all will, once you're done graduating, you'll be a part of the Fit Coach meetings at 6:30 every other Tuesday, where we continue on the lessons and the marketing and the understanding. So we know that you guys are actually on board and you're enjoying what you're doing and you're growing your business and growing your money and growing your understanding. Anyway, I said mini health expert. So I wanted to go over that. You're not just going to be working with clients for workouts and for diet. There's workout diets, there's supplements, and the supplements, natural supplements, that your average doctor knows nothing about health. That you don't go to the doctor for health. The doctor's for drugs. That's what he gets his information. He gets his information from Big Pharma, gets his information from the hospitals, which are about cutting you open, chopping stuff up, chopping stuff out, sewing you back up without a thyroid anymore or whatever, and putting you on drugs. Well, you need to be a mini health expert. And so just with your own health, how you healed your own self, you can only talk from your own perspective. So when you start to feel good and less sweet, you crave less sweets from taking chromium. That's how you can talk about chromium. When you start to say, I used to eat candy and junk and brownies, now I just have my protein shakes that taste so good, you're an authority on that. You got off of garbage and now you have a good protein shake that you lost weight, you lost body fat, and it tastes good. And you don't have any more sweet cravings for other bullshit. If you are like, yeah, I used to take nothing. Now I take a whole list of supplements. I feel better than ever. My skin looks so good. My hair looks good. I feel so fit, blah, blah, blah. So you'll always be talking from firsthand experience. That's the first thing that you need to understand. So your narrative of doom and gloom and where you came from, all the bad shit, that's going to make you inspiring. And you being a mini health coach along with diet and exercise is the full package. That's what they can't get if they just go to some trainer anywhere. So that's a really big niche that we're filling. And it helps a lot of people that are in chronic pain, joint pain, stomach pain, upper diaphragm cramping or upper intestine pain, wrists killing them, fingers, pinkies hurting nonstop, hip pain, shoulder pain, thinking it's rotator cuff and it's just fucking lectins from peanuts and tomatoes. People don't want to believe it. But there's a lot of money in poisoning your food and you don't want to believe that. And that's tough shit. I'm here to preach that that's what's going on. Because if you actually listen and you change that stuff around and it goes away, then you know for yourself. But many health experts, that's a big thing that you need to understand. So also in the previous meeting, I get so much good brainstorming from the coaches, the graduates. We're going to make, we already have a page over on the AMP Up site. It's called the Fit Coach Resource Hub. And that's where we're putting all the different lessons and the meetings that we have and all that. Well, we came up today. Cindy gave us great feedback. We're going to make a Fit Coach forum. And I also want all of you involved in this. And it'll be curated fitness, diet, wellness tips and video clips lessons to share with our Fit Coach tribe. So if you have like some cool protein hot chocolate you made, or a new way that you made some kind of protein pancake, or some little video of a new exercise, new way you did some kind of lunges, then we're going to set it up where we'll send an email out with a button, and we'll have our website guy. You just type in the shit that you want, the tip that you want to give to the other coaches, because that's all that's going to view it. And then we'll have our website guy post it with your headshot and your name and your town. So it'll have you and then your name and your town, where you're from. So all the other fit coaches everywhere across the nation can see and give that input. So we have all kinds of new info to share with each other as other coaches. Even tips on, man, I closed 3 clients today. Here's how I did it. I said, blah, blah, blah. I told one about my story. She said, oh my God. She went in the lunchroom. She told 2 of her other girlfriends, and like, can we do it together? And then now I have a group that I do at 12 noon at lunch at my office, that kind of thing. And so everyone's like, that's all you had to do? That's what coaches want to hear about. So it's going to be great with all of you contributing to that. So it'll be from you to the other coaches, so you all can grow together and have that really good community together. I'm going to look and see what this chat is here. Hold on. What question this is. Yes, briefly. Okay, gotcha. All right. So that's what we'll be doing. I'll be sending you a text, and then we'll schedule that out on Zoom together. And I'll make one Zoom interview login, and then I'll text it to each one of you so we can get that scheduled. And then, like I said, I'll type all that up, and then I'll send you your Gmail link so you can load any kind of pictures or whatever you have that will go with the story that we put together. Okay. Protein taco pie. That was the recipe to test out that she gave last week. Does it have the other page to it? I guess not. But okay, so I'm exiting off of this, and then we're going to go to my lesson. Probably have to stop this screen share. So hold on. Let me go do it again. All right, we are on my favorite topic. Oh, it's no better than the body types. Okay, so we're going into lesson 8. Okay, lesson 8 is personal meetings finish up this week. Okay. Amazon video being produced, body types, and recipe of the week. So it's a complete focus on one thing, the body types. These body types are very, very, very important for you to know. I was in the middle of training my Paul Bunyan client. He's like 6'10". I'm getting him out of the 400s down into the 200s, and he'll be competing at the Ohio State Championships. Anyway, he's got fast twitch muscle fiber in his pec, so they grow. And he has slow twitch, unfortunately, in his arms. So I was asking him to do the bicep curl, lean forward a little bit and yank it up super hard. I've got a lot of fast twitch. So even the way I impersonated it, and then he picks it up and he's gritting his teeth and I'm like, no, go harder. It wouldn't go. It wouldn't go. And I was like, man, he's got so much slow twitch in his arms. So slow twitch muscle fiber, fast twitch muscle fiber. It's one of the best lessons of all the personal trainer exams. So fast twitch, I think the best way to look at it is a chicken, so you can memorize it. So the whole big body of a chicken, big white meat chicken breast, the whole top of the chicken, slow twitch. And then the legs are beet red. The bottom is fast twitch. No fat goes on a chicken leg, on the little tiny feet of the chicken or whatever. So slow twitch gets fat easy, and it's for endurance. It lasts a long time. It gets a lot of body fat on it. It's very difficult to grow because slow twitch muscle fibers don't really grow. They elongate. They're more for endurance. They get a lot of oxygen. Fast twitch, on the other hand, blows up really fast. It expands real fast. It has more mitochondria. If you got it in your arms, especially as a guy, boom, you get these great arms. Or pecs, boom, your pecs can form. If you get a guy who has slow twitch in his pecs, Poor soul, poor soul, poor soul. For him to have slow twitch in his pecs, it's just going to be flat as a board, not going to want to develop. And that's what you're looking at. Same thing with other body parts. So wherever you have fast twitch, that muscle will be larger. There's not usually going to be any fat by the joint near it. If you have slow twitch there, it's going to be fat right by that joint. So if I see slow twitch in the thigh, I know that knee's going to get body fat on it. If I see slow twitch in the calf, be a straight up and down calf, I know there's going to be a pipe calf with fat around the ankle. If I see a big, large calf muscle, no way am I going to see fat on the ankle or the knee, because that muscle is so much fast twitch. Fat doesn't want to go near fast twitch. So, and that has a lot to do with these body types. So fast twitch muscle fibers don't get a lot of fat on them. If someone's got fast twitch in their abs, that son of a bitch will never have any fat there. Anyway, they will have a six pack and they'll be able to do 2 sit-ups. And then they'll go in the fetal position and cry. And then for those of us who have slow twitch abs, we'll be able to do 1,200 and the fat will never leave. So that's slow twitch. That's slow twitch for you. So slow twitch gets fat easy. Fast twitch, fat is almost like kryptonite. Very rarely will fast twitch get fat on it. So when someone gets very, very obese or very fat and they come in and I'll see their legs are hard as a rock, I know they got really powerful legs. I know they got a lot of fast twitch in there because fat didn't want to go there. And then their upper body is just covered in slow twitch muscle fiber. These muscle fibers matter. It matters about what kind of athlete you can be, what kind of, how you're going to lose weight, how you're going to gain weight. And so this is where these body types come in. So that's the first premise I wanted to teach you. Fast twitch and slow twitch muscle fibers, they're going to show up on the ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. Now, what do these names mean? They're just extremes. So the ectomorph is one end. That's very skinny, scrawny body type, very long limbs, very long torso, long fingers, even long nail beds. The only place if they get fat, and when they do is later in life, they gain fat on their belly, on their chest gets huge, their boobs get huge, and they get a triple chin. Don't really get fat anywhere else. It's a very, very hard body type to lose that weight once they take it that far. Their personality type is extremely nervous. Big reason why. So here's the cheat sheet. The ecto is lean and long. I'm going to go into further detail with difficulty building muscle. They got a lot of that endurance, slow twitch muscle on them. But they also have a mix of fast twitch, both together. The endomorph is the other extreme. Okay, mesomorph means middle, medium. Endomorph the other extreme. They're usually big. They have very high body fat naturally. They're typically pear-shaped. They have a high tendency to store body fat, and the main place they store it is by their joints. We got 3 joints in the leg, 1 joint in the arm. So it's going to show up by the 3 joints. Be around the ankle, it can be around the knee and the thigh. That's where the thigh is. And it's going to be on the hips and the ass and the low belly where that hip joint is. Then on the upper body, it's going to be on the back of the arm. Huge, huge body fat arms when they are endomorph. Mesomorph means medium. It means middle ground. This body type is muscular, well-built. This is a bodybuilder type of a body. They have a good metabolism, a moderate metabolism, and they have extremely responsive muscle cells. So that's really cool to understand. So if you are like, okay, well, I'm pretty meso in my legs, that means you have very responsive muscle cells in your legs, typically a lot of fast twitch muscle. You're going to be great at sprinting and you're going to despise running distance. You're going to build muscle very easy based on where you have that. There is a score of 9. So out of 9 points, every human will score, whatever these numbers are, you get a total score of 9 based on how many features we see on your body are mesomorph, endomorph, ectomorph. So I just did an evaluation on a Mrs. Ohio coming up, another competitor, and her score ended up coming out as a 6 meso, a 3 endo, and a 0 ecto. She didn't have any ecto traits. She had a lot of meso. The score I was going for was a 9, so that's your total highest score. And then since she's a 6 meso and a 3 endo, that means she's a meso endo. So almost everyone is at least 2 body types. Most athletes are all 3. They've got a little bit of all 3 of them in their body type. So that's a common thing. In the history of doing body types, I would say I've done body typing on maybe 27 to 30,000 people in my long career. I think I met one full meso. I met a couple full ecto men. A full ecto man, in the middle of my speech, I said, I can already see what you're going to do. You're too hyper to sit through my entire speech. You're going to chew my entire pen cap off. You're going to get up. You're going to walk through the back of the room for no reason. You're going to walk out. You're going to walk to the bathroom. You don't even have to go to the bathroom. And he just busted out laughing. I called him out ahead of time. So I said, then go stand in the back of the room because I know you're going to be moving around. You're going to be so fidgety. And he did. He did everything I knew he was going to do. He was an extreme ecto. So very nervous and fidgety body type. I think I've met a couple full endos that are 100% endo. They don't have any other features. They are very slow moving. They are very lethargic. They are type B on roids. They have extremely huge bones and slow twitch all over their whole body. So I have met a couple of them. So it takes thousands of people before you meet one where the jackpot they hit was ecto, or meso, or endo. So unbelievably rare. You're taking genetics from 72 places. So what are the odds out of the 72 places you got your genetics, you hit just all 3 of one body type? So unbelievable. Understand that you will almost always meet a dual body type, and on the athletes that you meet, it's probably going to be all 3. All right, so let's get into a little bit of detail here about body types. Rare is the pure form body type. The 3 body types exist, but probably never is there a pure form. This professor says this. We all have aspects of endomorphy, meso, ecto. There's even a system for rating it, which I told you. You are scored in order with endomorph first, meso second, ectomorph last. So a 175 would be a meso ectomorph. So a tall, muscular person with little fat. So 1 on endo, so they don't have a lot of body fat. A 7 on meso, they are going to have a lot of muscle. And a 5 as an ectomorph is where you get your height. Mesos were all short, and there's a reason why. So the reason that the mesomorph is always shorter is because everything is compressed with the meso. That's what makes such a powerful muscle. So slow twitch muscle fibers are long. Those endurance muscle fibers I told you about. Fast twitch muscle fibers are really condensed. So see what happened with length? So if my thigh bone is next to a ectomorph thigh, the ectomorph muscle mass is going to look like this, and my muscle mass is going to look like that, way shorter. Well, that's going to make me shorter. If my torso has mesomorph in it, I'm going to be short-waisted. Going to be more compact than medium, and then a long-waisted person. The ectomorphs have the long waist. Those abs are stretched out really long. And us mesos, we have very short waist. So the neck is short, the arms are shorter, which makes big arms because they're shorter. Long arms are way harder to get big and muscular than a shorter arm. The trunk is shorter, so the chest will usually be bigger on the meso. The men too, they can get really full developed pecs. Abs, you got to work hard on the abs because it's short-waisted, so everything shows up there. Meso thighs will be extremely muscular, but compact. Calves will be very muscular, big, compact. So everything is compact. So that's why meso is that fast twitch muscle fiber is not going to be long. It's going to be short and muscular. So that's one way of knowing it. A slow twitch muscle fiber like the ectos have. Ectos have a combo. They got some fast twitch in there too, but it's longer. It's stretched out. So that's what a tall muscular person with little fat, a 175. Under the health curve, blah, blah, blah. The extreme mesomorph would be a 171. They got 1 that's in endo, 7 in meso, and 1 that's in ecto. An extreme endomorph would be a 711. They got 7 total points in endomorphy, only 1 in 1. And an extreme ecto would be a 117. All those points are at the end for the ectomorph. Almost everyone's a mix. You could be a mix of meso-endo, where you gain quickly, but also put on weight easily if you relax your diet. Hello, welcome to me. I'm a meso-endo. So I can have no relaxation of my diet or my workouts. It's just endo takes over. The dream combo, a muscular meso who can strip fat rapidly. Oh God, who the hell is this person? Who can strip fat rapidly from just a couple of HIIT workouts. If that's you, try not to rub it in everyone's face. I'm glad I put that on there. Anyway, that is an extreme body type right there. All right, the ectomorph dominant. So let's take a look at the picture. As you can see, as I pointed out, look how damn long these limbs are. You see how long that is? Holy hell. Look at that hip bone. So that shows you how long this leg is. Look how long this trunk is. So most baseball players are this body type. They've proven that this long trunk is great for hitting the ball, for swinging the bat good. So you will see an enormous amount of baseball players with this exact trunk right here. Football players need a way lower center of gravity, not a baseball player. So that's why football players and wrestlers and bodybuilders would be meso. They need their center of gravity way lower. This guy will just get destroyed on the football field. So baseball players and clearly a lot of basketball players. But this is a classic ecto. See how long his neck is too? Very long neck and a very narrow. They show their jawline really good too. So let's talk about what this ecto's got going on for him. So what's the best training method for a body type? You have to address your clients. As I said in the previous meeting, I don't put a workout together without doing the evaluation. That's going to be part of what you're learning. You need to do the evaluation. You need these facts to put the workout together. You don't have these facts, you're just fucking around. You need the facts so you can actually give someone what they need and want based on how they're scoring. Well, this body type, I'm scoring the body type in the evaluation because it's going to change the way that I put the workout together. So my Paul Bunyan guy, back to the story about him, he has long, obviously 6'10". Clearly he's not meso predominantly. And over 400 pounds, he gains a lot of fat really easy. So he's got high ecto, high endo traits. He has a little bit of fast twitch in his pecs though. So they develop pretty quick, but these arms, they are hard gainers. So I put him on a lot of close grip, heavy close grip, trying to get those arms to grow. So as the ecto, best training method, 3 days of strength training should be coupled with 2 days of low intensity cardio. Yeah, you don't want a bunch of cardio for the ecto ever. 2 days max. Ectos are good at processing carbs. This is why they can eat them in front of you and gain no weight. They process their carbs into energy. And the fast metabolism means that you can burn off fat easily. This body type burns off fat easy. The downside is that you struggle to bulk up because your fast twitch fibers are underdeveloped. So remember I said they're long, they got some fast twitch in there, fast and slow twitch muscle fibers together, but those fast twitch ones are very underdeveloped on the ecto. To become more muscular, you need to keep cardio sessions to a minimum, focus on intense workouts using compound exercises to maximize growth hormone release. You also need to take about 3,000 calories a day, including plenty of starchy carbs and whey protein. Are you an ectomorph? You got the build of a marathon runner, lean but short on muscle. So that's the traditional marathon runner at the Olympics. It can be hard, and think about it. Why would a meso or an endo with way more weight want to run 26 miles? Are you out of your mind? We have so much lean body mass. It's so heavy to carry. That would be just hell. I hate it. And of course, you will always hate, your body type always hates what doesn't match his body type. The ectomorph loves it because they have light bones and they have very, very, very light muscle structure. So they're carrying a skeleton. It's not going to bug them. So it's hard to pack on size despite hours in the gym. What's going on? Has all to do with satellite cell mediated myonuclear addition, or in layman's terms, the number of cells surrounding your muscle fibers and your ability to add more by training. 66 people. The top 17 responders experienced a 58% gain in muscle cross-sectional area, while the bottom 17 gained nothing. Unfortunately for ectos, they tend to be the worst responders. So the ectomorph is the worst responder on gaining lean body mass. So the way that I have to fight that, like my Paul Bunyan guy, is he's got to go heavy, and he has to work out 4 days a week, and he is not permitted more than 9 to 10 minutes on the rower. I'm not letting him do any other kind of cardio. The rower, he has to just keep getting so physical with those arms. That's why I chose the rower and not more than about 12 minutes, because no, we'll get no gains. So that's ecto. Mesomorph dominant. All right, let's take a look at that body. Clearly, look what happened. As you can see, the arms got shorter. See that? The bones are now medium. Our bones on the ecto were tiny bones. So we got medium in that wrist bone, and that's going to make a really nice arm. Look how short that neck just got, and look how square that jaw got. So the square got pushed down. So it's always everything is smashed down and compacted. Square jaw, short neck, broad shoulders, more shorter arms so they get more muscular. Abs definitely get really good and defined. Square hips too. There's not a lot of fat on the hips ever. Muscular legs, again, no fat on the knee and no fat on the ankle, and big calf muscles. Those are all the traits of a meso. Mesos also have large nail beds and a lot of veins stick out, so they got thinner skin. All right, let's read about the meso. If you're dominant meso and where. That's training method. Train them athletically. They need to do sprints, box, vertical jumps, and other plyos. Plyometric means jumping. That's all plyometric means, jumping. In any way, shape, or form. Jumping lunges, jump squats, jump rope, jumping jack. They respond well to low reps and power. Alternatively, interval sprints will pump up their metabolism and strip away fat. They lose fat so fast in those areas that are meso. Mesomorph tends to take their naturally athletic builds for granted, which can result in diluted workouts and poor diets. Keeping in peak physical condition is often tempered by a scattered approach to eating and training. That is a very meso trait because they grew up with such a great figure, such a nice body. That's what this girl is. She's like, I'm so used to looking good, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I see a big score of that meso. She had that 7. What did I say she was? It's not watching her diet close. Yeah, 6 meso. So no wonder, doing the exact same thing it says here. So it's too scattered, where the other body type, we got to watch, can't even mess around. That means following a progressive plan that will make you stronger and more athletic by increasing your power without getting too bulky. To fuel your workouts, you need around 2,500 calories a day. Notice calories went down by 500 on that meso. Getting plenty of whole grains, but limiting your total fat intake. I'm sorry, I'm a half meso, half endo. I could never do the whole grain stuff. The person that's predominantly meso, they can get away with more grains than an endo meso could. Are you meso? If you are, you'll know it from the jealous looks. That's so funny. Mesos get all the jealous looks. Mesomorphs look well built without setting foot in a gym. Pack on muscle the instant they pick up a dumbbell. If this sounds like you hit the genetic jackpot, but you can make the most of your DNA with some tactical workout tricks. What's going on? The same research is so unflattering to the ecto offers plenty of positives for the meso. While the worst responders in the study mentioned above saw no change in the regulation of myogenin, a key gene responsible for muscle growth, the meso on the same program, 2 M's, that's nice, saw their spike 65%. So that's how fast a meso can beat an ecto 65% in speed on gains. It's unbelievable. Yeah, so just know that. You got meso in certain parts of your body, know that you're going to get gains there 65% quicker than the other parts of your body. So that's why you need to know your own body. You need to know the bodies that you're working with. So I knew my Paul Bunyan has meso in his chest. We started out at 135. I mean, super weak. 135 for a guy that's really weak on bench. And he's at easy 205 for 7 we're not even at 4 weeks until the 31st. Wow. And his bicep curl, which is the opposite, started out at 57 pounds, and he just was barely could get to 107. So it's just the gains are so different. And so if you don't know body types and they're like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do it? Their self-esteem is going to go in the shitter because they're ignorant. So you need to do something about that. You need to explain body types and fast twitch and slow twitch and calm them down. So ignorance always makes people get overly emotional. And that's why you need to be the expert. And it's actually really fun. Okay, next up, the endomorph. These misspells are, God, I just got done talking about ignorance and I got all this fucked up on my files here. This is great. This is great. The hypocrisy is on the next level today. All right, let's go to the endomorph. Endomorph. All right, here we go. Look at that body type. Take a look. Okay. So, I mean, this is a nice picture of the endo too. Normally not this nice. But this is an endomorph that's not overweight. So let's take a look at this guy. So he is not overweight, but he has got high body fat, as you can see. So he will have a much bigger thigh. Notice his hips will be wider, and the girls will be as well. Look at his waistline. Let's go back to the meso and look at the waist of the meso. See that difference with that meso? See that waistline come in right there? Even on the guys, it comes way in and back out. Let's go to the ecto waist. Ecto straight up and down. This endo, yeah, it just packs on weight so easy by the joints. So endo will get a lot of fat back here by the arm. They'll get it by here in their lower belly. Pack on the legs, and it will go all the way down the leg from the knee all the way down to the ankle. So endomorph, it's got the biggest bones of all three body types. So it is a powerhouse. These bones are unbelievable. So I trained a lineman for the Detroit Giants. This guy had a ring on his middle finger. And I said, let me try your ring on. And I put first three fingers, all three. Went right on. Three of my fingers. One bone, just a bone in your finger. Three of my bones. That was how big his ring was. Would you like to get hit by that? I wouldn't like to get hit by that on a football field. That one hurts so bad. Oh my God, that's like hitting like a forklift. Anyway, that's the kind of bones that is typically on a line in football. That's horrible. So there's a body type for everything. All right, so let's talk about the endo. So meso endo, wherever you have endomorph traits, that's where that fat is going to go first, and where you got to work your balls off to keep that fat off of there. It's always good, like I said, when you're a mix, you got your certain areas already done, so you just got to focus on those. But endo has some really great traits when it comes to power strength. All right. Best training method for the endo is combined hypertrophy work, basically muscle building with conditioning to strip away body fat. This body type absolutely must do cardio. 4-day split looks something like this. Monday, upper body hypertrophy. Tuesday, lower body conditioning, like sprints or sleds. When an endomorph is heavy, I'm never going to make them sprint. I'll make them push the sled. That's too much weight. I'm not going to give this person like, oh my God, this is too hard. That's when you look at someone and you see how heavy they are, or if they're top heavy, you don't want to make them more uncomfortable. That's why we even created our workout styles non-impact, because we were watching how uncomfortable clients were bouncing and jumping up and down when they got too much weight. That doesn't feel good, doesn't look good. It feels like shit. So don't make people do shit like that. They can be comfortable. They can win, they can do a really good job, and it can match the body type you're dealing with. Thursday, lower body hypertrophy. Friday, repetition day on the upper body, when you'll do lots of reps at relatively low weight. Endomorphs adapt well at storing fuel, muscle and fat concentrated in the lower body. So the endomorph, the reason this almost every female will inherit a little bit of endo. Since endomorph is adept at storing fuel, females will have more endomorph. There's really no need for endomorph to be in men. As a matter of fact, there really isn't. But it's a mainly female trait because they need to store fat for offspring. So that is a big reason why endomorphs are the most fertile of the three body types. They have the easiest pregnancies of the three body types. They have plenty of body fat. The babies cook well. They have very healthy, nice, big, chunky babies. So endomorph, and endomorph actually likes being pregnant too. They have no problems. Mesomorph has a big fucking problem because of being short-waisted. And ecto has the worst problem of all because they have narrow hips and a narrow waist, and there's like no place for the baby to fit. So they have a really hard time being pregnant. The low to medium intensity cardio plan will help you shift fat, as will 1750 calorie a day diet that's high in fiber. The endomorph, you think they want to hear you that their calories can only be 1750. I have some endos that can't eat over 750 or they gain weight. That's how slow the metabolism is in their 50s, age 50. So some endos finally figure it out by the end of age 50 and 60. Like, I can't lose over 1,000 calories and I gain weight. That's how slow the metabolism is. Are you an endo? If you have trouble shifting weight, the chances are you're an endo, characterized by relatively high amount of stored fat, a wide waist, and large bone structure. Very large bone structure. That large bone structure, by the way, makes them unbelievably strong. So our strength is coming from our bones first. Got a lot of good, strong base. Like when you look at dogs, I always like to look at the paws of dogs. I like to see how big their bones are in there. Little tiny dainty bones with the little toy dogs. You see those, boxers, the way they put their paws down, big bone structure down there. What's going on? The good news is that evolutionarily speaking, you're a badass. When food was scarce, natural selection favored humans with fat storing metabolisms. So this is why this evolved. The bad news is that now sofas and milkshakes are readily available. These genes are scuppering you. Some experts suggest heredity factors might account for as much as 70% of your body mass, your BMI. Absolutely. Your genetics is 70% of your BMI, 100%. So just kind of know that. That the endomorph, it is the longest living body type, by the way. The ectomorph is the shortest living. So faster metabolism, faster you die. Slower the metabolism, longer that you live, typically. Endomorph usually doesn't get a lot of diseases either. It's unbelievable. Be morbidly obese and still won't have diabetes. There's a lot of stuff that can happen with endomorph. And they're usually the late bloomers, so they don't age very fast either. So it's great for anti-aging. So there's always a balance on both sides. All right, so where are we at now? We're on which body type for which sport. This is so cool. I discussed this in some high schools and colleges I spoke at. Oh my God, this is so fun. To discuss with kids what sport they should do. And if they hate the sport that they're in, they told their mom, I hate this sport, I want to quit. And the parent would say, no, finish what you start. And the kid's just miserable. And then I went in and did some of these seminars and they're like, oh my God, no wonder why I'm miserable. This is horrible. They're in the wrong sport for their body type. A lot of times they'll learn pretty quick. They don't belong there or whatever. But this chart will help you understand a little bit better, on top of the fact that when you see this chart with body types and you go and you look up a workout. If I go look up a workout, I know that I've got a wrestler coming into an evaluation. I will look up workouts for wrestlers. And so I know I'm going to have a certain body type that's going to match this person. So when coaching a client, it is best to help them understand their body type. Most times people instinctively choose a sport that makes them feel best and they can compete well in. A lot of times they don't. Sometimes, and they'll just be benched the whole time. They'll be on the sport and never get to play. Sometimes you may need to help younger or older athletes choose a sport more specific to their actual body type. This will help them enjoy their sport more and perform higher. So let's take a look at this little chart here. So 171, extreme meso. 171. Remember, we talked about the numbers, 171. Remember, it's a score of 9. So the meso is middle. That's the middle number. The extreme endo, that's the 7 on this end. The extreme ecto, that's the 7 over here. So now let's look at their scores. And extreme meso, Brittany Dorsey, gymnast and sprinter, rugby player, tennis player. Now you start to move down to rugby union second, row player, or a high jumper, extreme ecto. That's who's doing the high jump. Endo, sumo wrestler, wrestlers in general. You don't want them laying on you. Oh my God. USA football player, just regular football. Weightlifters. So look how close this is. So the weightlifter is a meso with some endo. right in that zone right there, weightlifters. So we're going to get a lot of our clients coming in that say, oh, I love working out. Boom, going to be right there. Oh my God, I hate lifting, because their limbs are so long. They're going to say they hate lifting. That's going to be that extreme ecto. Probably won't have a weight problem anyway. So notice the extreme endo has no athletics here. They're so slothful. There's no sports. They won't do anything. So if people that have a kid that is extremely endomorphic, right here, they're just like, I'm too lazy. They're type B. They're not motivated. They will be probably playing PlayStation. They will not. They'll be so laid back. They won't go out and walk. They won't do any sports. They're going to pay dearly for that. But notice on that extreme level right here, the extreme meso, all kinds of sports are following them. But when you come down here, there is nothing surrounding this extreme endo. So it's just the body fat just keeps on growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. So my sister was a very big endo. And I remember I was 10 years older than her. And I said to her, when I learned all this at 20, she was 10. I was like, oh my God, Monica, you're an extreme endomorph. You have to work out for the rest of your life. Oh my God, you'll be so overweight. You have to work out every day, no days off. She listened. She never stopped. She hasn't stopped since. She's 40. So she hasn't stopped since. So I scared the shit out of her. Thank God, because that girl got big. She got big by the time she was 10. So just lazy, blah, blah, blah. So then she got into sports and she took it serious. So it's really important to mentor kids the right way. That, okay, I know that you're feeling this way, but you still have to find something that you'll do. And endomorph is an endurance body type. It can be a great cyclist. It can be great doing triathlons. There's all kinds of stuff that endo can do that just matches their endurance. So they just have to get it under control. But that slothfulness is definitely coming from, just like personality type, it's definitely coming from the body type. Anytime a meso gets slothful, meso-endo, the endo's kind of taken over, creeping up too much. They just got too slacking on their diet and messed the whole bloodstream up, and that will make a endo-meso get off their game. Ectos usually have so much nervous energy. Very rarely you're going to see them calm down. They're always doing something. Ectos are always moving, always doing something. But when the ecto does gain weight, it would be from anxiety issues. They're not controlling their mind well and their emotions well. And so then they start putting on the weight from cortisol. Their gut will just start growing no matter what they're eating. It's just bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's cortisol. It's causing that. So when I get those ectos, which I have some salespeople ectos, and they have those exact issues, I'm like, quit being nervous about your diet. Quit being nervous about your workouts. You are too, you have no emotional control, and you don't have a stress management program to calm down on a daily basis. Have time for yourself, calm down, quit making your work go all the way into your personal time, blah, blah, blah. And so just having those conversations, those ectos start to calm down and start making yoga part of their life. They start calming down all that worry energy. So worrying and anxiety and ADD is going to be an ecto trait. I've never met an endomorph with ADD. Not ever. It doesn't exist. They're just like, what? They have no problem with attention. They're just like so laid back. They don't get a lot of diseases, and they're so type B. They're going to be the slowest eater you ever sit down and eat a meal with. That's endo. Anyway, so the body types are pretty cool. They're actually a lot of fun, and you being able to manipulate what you know in order to train them and train their muscles a certain way is cool. That's when you start to really get much more advanced. I'm talking to you all from extreme levels of advancement of how many years, how many certifications I have, all that. I'm giving you shortcuts to everything. So don't have arrogance and think that you should know everything that I know in just one lesson. That's stupid. You need to take this information in, let it sink in, kind of think about everybody you know, think about people in your family, your mom and dad's body type, your grandparents, who you match, who you don't match. Just let that sink in on a personal level. And then your eyes will start to perceive people when you're looking out everywhere you look, at the pool, when you go to the beach. Look at that endo over there. Look at that meso. Oh my God, that's such an ecto. Look at that figure. What makes that figure so nice? Oh, meso. Got some ecto legs on there, whatever. And then you start to get really good at it. Really, really good at it. You also can accept your own body better. And then you can help your clients accept their body better, because what good is it for them to come in and say, I want to look like this and this and this. And then I look at their body type, and then I look at Madonna's arms they said they want, and J-Lo's booty that they said they want, and so and so and so and so. I'm like, you don't have this. You don't have that kind of booty. You don't have those kind of legs. You are not ecto in your arms, and you have no meso features. No, 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 no. So now let's look for a body type that will actually match what you can look like. So rude awakening that you have to do. So that's why you want to know about body types, because you want to make sure there's no false expectations coming from a client that says crazy shit like that, and they need to be put straight. Okay. Which body type gets fat? Whatever characteristics you should know regardless, body type. This is just, again, taking a look at them. Yep. So when body fat comes on, as you can see, when you look at the ecto, so the ecto will say, I don't like this part of my inner thighs. That's the only little tiny spot that they get some fat. And clearly they will get fat here. And girls will get huge boobs right there, and they will get a double chin. On this meso, look how similar he starts looking to the endo here. You see that? So everything is still muscular, but it's got a thick layer of fat over top of it. So they'll look chunky and stalky. Look at the hips. The hips still didn't get any fat on them. See that? Thighs got really big. And then look at those calves. Calves got really huge too. Still no fat there. No fat there. No fat on that joint. That's meso. Endo. Put a lot on. See how it folds over, that belly fat folds over. There's no more space, and then it starts to make an extra level of fat. This visceral fat is very dangerous right there. They got a lot of body fat on the arm. Don't show a lot of cuts. Look how big the legs got. And then it put more fat around the joint here. So look at what I told you about the calves. Now fat went all the way down to the ankles. So just because it's by the joint. That joint, this joint, and then that one right there. That's what made that belly fat roll over like that, because the fat's wanting to go by the joints of the endo. Good at storing body fat, as a female especially, good at storing it by the sex organs for babies. That's usually why the females gain it right there for offspring. All right, we're done with the lesson. What is this week's recipe to try? Jalapeno keto chicken. Oh my God, I forgot how good this was. So chicken breast, cream cheese, or use vegan cream cheese. Jalapeno peppers. You can use regular cheese or vegan cheese, and then crispy bacon on it, and then just layer that. And it turns out amazing. So the reason that we want you doing these recipes and just experience them, here's all the stuff and how to do it, how to make it quick. We want you experiencing recipes at all times is because that's part of what makes you fun. You need to make sure that your clients are having a good time while they're dropping their weight and enjoying their menu and enjoying their food, because when people just eat routine, stupid, repetitive food over and over, they're going to quit. They're going to quit on you, and there goes your money. They're going to quit paying you, and it's all going to be based on this diet. Also, it's very much a black and white thinking brain. When I lose weight, I eat a bunch of just shit I don't like, and when I gain weight, I eat all my food that I like. So what the brain does, the brain goes, okay, I've had enough of this boredom. And so what the brain starts to get conditioned with is, when I eat just shitty, boring food, that means I lose weight, but life is boring. And then it's going to boomerang and swing over. And when I have fun and life is fun, I eat whatever I want. And I eat all kinds of good tasting food. So that's why their weight, when they say I've gained and lost the same 50 pounds, which I've done over and over, I kept doing that with my diet. Instead of saying, nope, I'm going to enjoy everything I eat now. Eat it keto, eat it low carb, eat it with cauliflower rice, pull the lectins out, pull all the stuff that inflamed me away, and then enjoy the actual food. So now it's a never ending feeling of it feels good. I'm always in a good place with food and diet and all that kind of stuff. So we don't want the extreme eating, dieting, gross food, shit food, and then coming over to the other extreme, binging, loving food, and just getting fat as fuck. So we need to keep them right here. Nope, you're not going to do that. Can I do that recipe? Can I do that menu again? No. Why not? Because people don't lose weight on a menu 2 times in a row. I've already tested it a million times. Nobody loses weight on Weight Watchers the second time around, or any other diet for that matter the second time around. That's why the meal plans need to keep changing. So when they change, it gives shock to the body. It gets the body out of homeostasis. It says, oh, I don't know what you're doing. You're fasting for 13 hours today. You just were fasting for 16 before. Now you're at 12. Oh, what's this new recipe? I never had one of these. Wow, this is good. This tastes great. I feel satisfied. I feel good. This doesn't feel like a diet at all. I'm happy. This feels good. I don't want to hurt myself. I actually care about myself. Wow, I like all these good feelings coming. All that shit starts to happen when you help them with their food and help them understand not to be afraid of food. And it starts with you. Food is not making you fat. The decisions and the ignorance. So most people are deciding. You either decide from wisdom or you're deciding from being a dumbass. It's up to you. What do you want to do? So when you're winning, you're deciding from good decisions, good math, good science. When you're losing, it's ignorance. You have dumbass decisions. Let's see what these comments are. Yum, bacon. Did I mean New York Giants? I probably did. It was a football team. What did I say? Detroit Giants? Did I say Detroit Giants? God, that's so dumb. That's so blonde if I said Detroit Giants. Did I say Detroit Lions? I think
Detroit Giants.
Did I say New York? What did I say? Did I say New York Giants? What did I say? Detroit Giants? What did I say?
Yeah, Detroit Giants.
Yeah, Detroit Giants. I'm like, wait, what? I knew you didn't mean Detroit because you were talking about a ring. So I was like, well, I know you're not talking about Detroit.
Okay. I know he lived in New York. So he was on the New York team. So it means, and he's a Giant. So he played for the New York Giants and he had rings that my 3 fingers fit in. So, yep, he lived in New York. It was New York Giants. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yum bacon. Rhonda, you're too funny. All right. So that's today's lesson. Do any of you have any questions about the previous lessons that you have learned so far? I'm going to get out of my share screen and get back to see you guys later this week.